Okay, that's L&T's open offer for Mindtree at 980 along expected lines. It will kick off later this month. And those are the details that are coming in. Right now, we need to shift focus back to that exclusive conversation our colleague Nisha Podar had with Kapil Wadhawan, Chairman and Managing Director of DHFL. Among other things, they talk about what exactly led to this crisis and the way forward.
We have been talking about the liquidity crisis which has really hit the NBFC sector. Is it just liquidity, or with your papers being downgraded by the ratings agencies, now that you have lesser avenues for gaining any capital for your business, is it an issue of survival and therefore solvency?
Let me address this by saying that DHFL has been one of the largest housing finance companies in the country, with a prime focus on tier 2, tier 3 markets, focusing on the lower and the middle income segment. Incidentally, we are the largest contributor to the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, where more than 100,000 units have actually been financed by DHFL over the last 3 years. Now, come September last year, yes. 2018, yes, we abruptly got caught into a liquidity jam. And I'm not talking about just DHFL, it was the sector as a whole, right. Both the NBFCs and HFCs. Post that, right till today, all the market participants have found it extremely difficult to go out and raise fresh resources from the marketplace. Right. Now, clearly, DHFL has had a strong history and standing with, more than 30 banks in the country, whether it's in terms of term loan borrowings or going out and selling down loans to them, right. Which has been much appreciated by the industry, by the participants, that the quality of assets has been of absolutely pristine value, right? Which obviously helped us from September onwards till today.
So far you held on pretty well, yes. Kapil, and you always took pride in saying that we have neither defaulted nor delayed, but you recently delayed, and you're saying a cure period of 7 days, but that is being understood by the rating agencies as a default scenario, tantamounting to lack of confidence in you really be able to service the further maturities as far as commercial papers are concerned. So do you think, is it a solvency question now more than liquidity? What went wrong in the last 1 month?
Firstly, it's not a solvency issue at all. I think this misnomer, and I've heard some of the market experts talk about solvency issues, about DHFL being tagged with some of the other companies which have had similar problems from different sectors. We are a financial institution. We have underlying assets which keep on giving us cash flows even till today, right. And will continue to do so. Now, if you abruptly stop the lending activity, right. For a large institution like us having more than 1.25 lakh crore AUM, right. And expect me to start paying down the liabilities of all my creditors, even a bank today, in that situation would not survive.
So asset liability mismatch, yes. That has really hit the entire NBFC yes. space, and you being one of them. Now, your sources of funds are very limited, especially after downgrade. You yourself admitted that it's now next to impossible. Right.
No, I wouldn't. Sorry, I wouldn't yes. say that it's next to impossible. The company is firstly not insolvent; it's a solvent company.
Yes.
We continue to get cash flows.
Yes.
The actions taken by the rating agencies yes. post January, right. Starting from the first week of Feb, right. From where we were rated as a AAA marquee, right. Housing finance company, and within 3.5 months downgrading it, right. to bring it down to a D. I think there are big questions here to be asked even to the rating agencies.
I think the regulators have also asked them questions for not doing it. Also, they're both sides of the story. All right. So you have also you've said that it's not a solvency question; it's a liquidity issue still. That was a big question that a lot of investors are asking, so therefore I had to pose that to you. Now, liquidity. When we talk about the NCD, why the delay, what went wrong, and are you sure of first meeting your obligation within the 7-day cure period? And the second, your commercial paper of 100 crore rupees is set to be redeemed today. Are you on track with that?
We are very well on track with that, on that payout. As I've said, we continue. It logically is a delay. It's not a default. We have raised monies through various sources, primarily from the capital markets. Debt markets has been in the last 3 years. We've been focused on raising money through public issuance of NCDs. We've done 3 large public issuances there. Now, this obviously was the first anniversary of the payout of the last issue that was done in June last year.
Right.
And that amount was about 960 crores.
Right.
In effect. And yes, we have delayed the payment because as I said before, any financial institution, if you cut all the supply and money is our raw material, right? It is never a situation where even a bank would not have an asset liability mismatch. If today banks were not allowed to have access to the repo window or their deposit lifeline was cut, I don't think that banks would actually be in a solvent position as well. They would be hit with ALM challenges to meet the obligations to their depositors.
All right. So, Kapil, you're talking about the problem. We all know now about the problem. You know it very well, and you had been sounding off pacificatory statements that you will not miss the deadline, you will not default. You have avenues of resources of liquidity. Now, let's focus on that. For NCDs, are you sure to get the money? And the second bit is shortfall of 1,500 crore rupees out of the inflow-outflow that you have for the month of June. How are you going to bridge this 1,500 crore rupees?
I would not look at simply this to be a June issue. Rather, let me also track back to what we have done.
No, we'll come to the other months later. In fact, I have a wider horizon of 3 months till your deal that you're working on is also consummated. That could really give a huge amount of liquidity and solve most of your problems. But till then, will you survive is the big question that the investors are asking. And there could be some shaken confidence as well.
No, I'm sure there is the confidence must have been shaken, and we have been voicing this liquidity concern, in front of everyone.
Right.
The only source of money for the last 9 months for us has been selling down assets, primarily retail assets, to banks, and banks have mopped up all those assets very willingly, knowing very well that the asset quality is extremely good.
Right.
Now, clearly, we had really no other avenues other than to go out and sell down further assets and keep on servicing all our obligations.
Right.
In fact, since September, we have paid over 35,000 crores of obligations, both interest and principal.
Right.
Now, obviously, this got coming back to your question. We are extremely comfortable. We have spoken to the banks. Banks do believe that this is not an insolvency issue. Banks know that there has been a challenge, as far as the NBFC, HFC space is concerned, which the Honorable Governor also mentioned yesterday post his monetary policy in his statement, that yes, there has been a challenge. And I guess, for a large institution like us, clearly, when the avenues are fairly limited, the only recourse you have is to go back to your same creditor banks who have been supportive in your growth phase to say that, hey guys, this is a problem. Please help me, in getting out of this. There are multiple things that we are doing on the ground in ensuring that there is equity available to come into the company. My holding company has sold multiple businesses in the process as well.
Right. All right. So we had put out a story that you were engaged in a crucial meeting with your lenders yesterday. What came off that meeting, Kapil? Is that 1,500 crore rupees totally going to come from your already existing lenders? Are they backing you up at this time?
You do have the intelligence. I mean, for sure. The meeting was, yes, we met, we've been engaged with the bankers on an everyday basis, and literally it's not just yesterday, it was even prior to this on a weekly basis. We've been keeping them updated as to what our status is. As I said, they have come forth and being very helpful in this time because they know that this is not an insolvent position.
Right. So what is the assurance that you have at this point?
our understanding is, and this obviously can be validated from the banks, that for the next 3 months till the time we consummate a transaction, we are hopeful of consummating that in the next couple of weeks.
Right.
The diligence process is on. Till the time it is done, the way we have been selling down our assets to repay all our obligations, that process will continue.
All right. So next week, Blackstone money for Aadhaar transaction is likely to come to you. That will take care of NCDs?
Yes, it will.
All right. And what about the rest of the 650 crore rupees of commercial paper maturity that's going to come up for redemption in the latter half of June after 100 crores today? So this full 750 crore rupees, have you made good of the amount required for this?
Nisha, let's not forget that we, continue to generate more than 2,000 crores of cash accruals every month. So from our borrowers, and that amount, is a significant amount to pare down liabilities. At the same time, surely, there is a mismatch, and that's why we've got into this delayed position today.
Right.
And that's why the SOS with the banks, that yes, we do need funding lines on the back of the assets that we have, to clear off the liabilities at least for the next 3 months, so that we are in a good position to do our deal successfully.